Have you ever wondered where the problems in the world today would exist if we had deeper connection to ourselves, others, and the environment and acted from that place? Welcome to the Conscious Action Podcast with your host, Brian Berneman, who believe that connection is the key to taking conscious action as individuals and creating a better world. We are here to raise awareness and inspire meaningful action by sharing stories, knowledge, and conversations with thought leaders and change makers. From sustainability to well-being and everything related to conscious living, our mission is to empower you to be the change that you want to see in the world.
Welcome everyone to a new episode of the Conscious Action Podcast. I am Brian Berneman, your host. And for this episode, I wanted to talk about how important it is to realize that every single moment, every single day, we have the capacity to change. We have the potential to change. We have the opportunity to change. Yet we don't always see it. We don't always do it. I know from my experience, we are very comfortable where we are. As human beings, we love the comfort zone. Whether that comfort zone is a good one, a great one, a healthy one, or a really bad one, we are comfortable staying in that space. And we don't see sometimes a way out. We don't want to open ourselves up to something that we don't know how that's going to be. What's outside of the comfort zone is an unknown. Therefore, a lot of times, we don't want to go there. I talked with so many people through the years that they are more comfortable, and this a lot of times is unconscious, they are more comfortable staying in a very bad relationship for the unknown of not being in a relationship, or in a job that they hate for the fear of not finding another job. These are valid points. It's not that it's not valid. This is about understanding how we operate, and also understanding that any single moment we can decide to do things differently. I love this. I have been running for a lot of years workshops that are called Rewrite Your Story. And they are about understanding how to allow the past and what came before to inform what we do now and into the future, but not to keep us a victim of them. So rewriting the story is about understanding that we can relate to what happened differently, and that at this moment, we can choose differently. We can understand what happened, and if we want to, and take responsibility, we can heal our relationship to what happened so that we open up new possibilities moving forward. And knowing that we don't need to give anyone any explanations, we can decide to do things differently. I know that, moving from country to country at different moments, doing different things, different friendships, different dynamics. I just chose to change this, to change that. Sometimes people like it, sometimes people don't like it. There's nothing that we can do about that. More, the important thing is what's best for me at this moment. And to be able to understand that we have the potential to change, that we can decide to do things differently, that there is other ways of doing things. And when we open ourselves to different people, different cultures, different perspectives, we're able to do something differently. Through the years, working with a lot of people in the different coaching spaces or therapies or with family constellations, a lot of times it's about taking responsibility of what we are and how do we want to be and how can we do things differently. Because we have all of these patterns of behaviors, we have tendencies, there's a lot of things that are quite unconscious in our experience. When we're able to open ourselves up to looking at that and to decide to, again, heal what came before, to integrate what came before, so that we can be different, so that we can choose differently, so that there's an energy that is being redirected, then we can start to tap more into this space of reclaiming our own power and opening to new possibilities, opening to new possibilities of who we are. A lot of people call this an upgrade or a quantum leap or however they want to call it. This is about just understanding that we can change. And actually, that's the only thing that happens. We just try to keep ourselves in a place that is familiar. And there's, again, nothing wrong with that space or staying there. It just depends on how we want to live our lives. I love always this saying, like, not being a victim of your circumstances, but being a master of your destiny. This is so powerful because each of us, all of us, me, you, and everyone, we have this power and we have different gifts and different ways and different medicine that we're bringing into the world, different pathways. We're unique, we're original. And also, in understanding, we can keep on evolving and changing and changing and changing and changing. There's no stopping that. We can do it. So what's holding us back? What's in the way? This is why I advocate so much for personal growth, for healing work, because this is just looking at that, what's holding us back from realizing who we really are and our potential. When we understand this, we can open ourselves to these changes. So at this moment, as you're listening to this, you can potentially choose to be different, to act differently, to behave differently. And through choosing that, you can also realize what's not happening, what's actually blocking you. And you might know why that's there or not, but there's something keeping you from doing that, perhaps. When we take action, we realize, okay, this is where there's a blockage there. I can't do this. I might need some support with this. Or I need to see this differently. Or perhaps we act differently and we realize, actually, there's nothing holding me back. I can be different. Just the knowledge that you can choose differently is so powerful, that we have the potential to change every single moment. That is powerful. Then it's about a choice that we want to make. Every single moment we are choosing, consciously or unconsciously. So what do you want? What do you want to be? How do you want to be? What do you want to choose? And then exploring that, opening up to the potentials, and at the same time, being safe, feeling safe, taking care of yourself. There's this beautiful dance and dynamic of understanding when is the right time to do something, when it's not, and you are the only one that has that answer. But when you know, especially if you're hearing this, you know that you can rewrite your story, you can change in a single moment, because you are not only the main protagonist of your story, you're also the director, the producer, the writer. You are the one that has that potential. It might not seem like that all of the time, but you do. So I invite you to explore that. I invite you to open yourself up to change, to change, to change, to upgrade, to do things differently, if that's what you want. I'd love to know from you, how has this been for you in your own life? Do you believe that you can change all of the time? Do you believe that you are the master of your destiny? Do you believe that you're a victim of your circumstances? Do you believe that any moment you can change? I'd love to know. And if anything resonated, leave a comment wherever it is that you're finding this. And as always, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And I'll see you next time. Bye.
What did you like the most about this episode? Take a moment to think about what change you can make in your life today.
Share your conscious action on social media using hashtag conscious action and tagging at conscious action NZ so we can celebrate your impact on the world and create a ripple effect.
One easy action we would love for you to take right now is to share, like, and subscribe to this podcast. This will help us get these messages out into the world and inspire more people to take conscious action in their own lives, contributing to the better world we hope for.